Okay, so this video is the geography of the United States and North Carolina. It's got a lot of slides, but there's not a significant amount of information on either slide, so it should go pretty quick. So let's start with the United States. The United States is divided up into 5 regions: Northeast, Southeast, Midwest, West, and Southwest. And I've drawn the compass over here, north, south, east, west, with the little directions in between. You should know this already, but here are the 5 regions, and hopefully you're familiar with at least the regions of the United States. So let's start with the Northeast. All right, it's located east of the Appalachian Mountains and north of the Mason-Dixon line, which is an imaginary line that separates the North and South United States. Its climate has cooler summers and cold winters, and its economy relies heavily on industry because there's a lot of big manufacturing cities up there, such as New York City, Boston, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Washington, D.C. Those are all located in the Northeast. Some of its key features are Atlantic Ocean, New York City and Boston, as I said before, and the Appalachian Mountains. Obviously there are more, but those are the 4 that I'm kind of drawing your attention to. The Southeast. All right, it's located south of the Ohio River and east of the Mississippi River. Its climate is hot summers and mild winters, which is where we live in this area. Economy is largely focused on agriculture, so livestock, cotton, tobacco, fruit, all sorts of stuff like that. And we are also rely on the service industry. So some of our key features in the Southeast are Atlantic Ocean, Gulf of Mexico, Ohio River, Mississippi River, Missouri River, Appalachian Mountains, and then the big cities of Miami, New Orleans, and obviously you have cities like Charlotte, Atlanta, and other things like that. Then the Midwest, all right, between the Appalachian and Rocky Mountains, located kind of right in the middle. Its climate is a moderate climate with 4 distinct seasons. Now, obviously, this does not mean that in the other regions they don't have fall, summer, winter, and spring, but these are very distinct in this climate. So you'll notice a drastic difference between each season. So the economy is focused once again on agriculture, livestock, corn, wheat, soybeans. You have those vast plains out there of wheat. Key features are the Mississippi River, the Missouri River, Great Lakes, the Ohio River, Chicago, Detroit, tons of cities out in the Midwest as well. The West, all right, located from the Rocky Mountains to the western edges of the nation. This includes Alaska and Hawaii. Its climate varies all over the map from Arctic to tropical, moderate, hot, cool, whatever the case is. You have it in the West. The economy goes from agriculture to technological developments to tourism to industries to kind of everything in between. And its key features would be the Pacific Ocean, the Rocky Mountains, and big cities such as San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, areas like that. I'm sorry, Phoenix is probably in the Southwest. So the Southwest, located between the Colorado and Mississippi rivers in the southern United States. So the climate is hot and dry, and the economy includes agriculture again and also mining. And its key features are the Rio Grande River, the Colorado River, the Gulf of Mexico, and some big cities like Houston and Dallas located in Texas there. So now let's move on to the geography of North Carolina. There are 4 distinct regions in North Carolina: mountain, Piedmont, coastal plain, and tidewater. And I've kind of drawn them out on this map here. Do not laugh at my map. I think while it may not look great, it is extremely accurate. All right, so mountain region, obviously over here on the west. The Piedmont region, Wake County, is about right here. We are right on the border of the Piedmont coastal plain region, but we are considered Piedmont. Coastal plain region and tidewater region. So for those familiar with cities here, you're probably looking at Asheville, Appalachian State in the mountain region, Greensboro, Raleigh, High Point, Winston-Salem, Charlotte in the Piedmont region, coastal plain cities like Greenville, Kinston, and then down here on the tidewater, you're looking at Wilmington and New Bern and Ocracoke and stuff like that. This line that separates the Piedmont and the coastal plain is known as the fall line because there's a drastic drop in elevation, and there's tons of rivers that kind of run through there to kind of mess with the elevation, if you will. So the tidewater region is probably the most unique, I guess. It borders the Atlantic Ocean. There are barrier islands all the way out there on the eastern coast, off the eastern coast of North Carolina, and this long chain of islands we sometimes refer to as the Outer Banks, and they are always shifting and changing due to tides, wind patterns, erosion, and all that stuff. There are also a lot of capes on the North Carolina coast, which are little pieces of land that stick out into the ocean. Cape Hatteras, Cape Fear, and normally sometimes you'll see lighthouses that accompany some of those capes. They also have a lot of sounds in the tidewater region. These are wide inlets of sea or ocean water that usually separate the coastline and an island that's out there. So, for example, Pamlico Sound, which is the largest one, also the Albemarle Sound. And the climate in the Tidewater region, mild winters, moderate summers, very attractive for tourists. So this is why you have a lot of people down at the beach because they like the weather there. Then you get the coastal plain region as we move a little inland. Best farmland due to the rich sandy soil there. It also includes the sand hills, which are flat rolling hills, and this is actually pretty poor farmland there. So they have a wide variety of both. Includes a very popular golf destination known as Pinehurst. Then you have the Piedmont region, which is where we live, and we are known as the red clay soil region of North Carolina. If you dig down in the dirt, pull it up, it'll definitely be some thick kind of red clay down there. The fall line separates Piedmont and coastal plain regions, and slightly higher elevations than the other two regions, especially as you move further west, obviously because you are approaching the mountain region, which is the furthest west in North Carolina. The Blue Ridge Mountains are the kind of the eastern boundary or edge of the Appalachian State Mountains, and the Appalachian Mountains contain Mount Mitchell, which is the highest point or the highest mountain east of the Rocky Mountains, and they're also known for the Great Smoky Mountains, and if you can play your cards right, maybe we'll visit that this year, or one region of the North Carolina, the Outer Banks or the mountains this year.